Alright, this is the Alien Covenant movie review. I watched this last Saturday with my dad and two of my brothers. I wanted to wait a week to do this because I was trying to sit on it and gather all my thoughts. Because this movie blows, man. This movie blows big time. It's not an abomination, but it is such a letdown. This is probably the biggest movie I wanted to see this summer, besides Wonder Woman, but that's a whole nother thing. But this movie is bad. It has all the horror cliches of any other standard horror movie, except this time there's a xenomorph in it. A legit xenomorph this time. So let's start from the beginning. It's called Alien Covenant because that's the ship that they're on. It's called the Covenant, and they're going to this new planet to colonize it. Why did they go colonize? Want to go colonize it? You don't know. They don't tell you. They're just like, hey, here's your crew. Yeah, you got your standard crew members, and they have like I think over like 2,000 other people that are like in cryo sleep or hyper sleep or some type of sleep in these pods or whatever, and they get woken up because they get hit by this solar flare, and their captain dies. That went out with them, who was actually James Franco, but you actually wouldn't know that unless you watched a clip on YouTube called The Last Supper, or until his wife or whatever is like looking back to all this old stuff after he dies, and you see like a little video of him like mountain climbing or whatever. You wouldn't have known it was James Franco. He was completely wasted in this. So they get woken up by the soul phone. They go over, had to go outside, repair the ship, and this guy Tennessee, Danny McBride's character, intercepts this message from space or whatever, from this planet, out of nowhere, a signal from Elizabeth Shaw, the girl from Prometheus at the end, and they see that the planet's habitable, has air to breathe and stuff. So they go off their original course to their original planet because it's closer to them. They're like, hey, what are the odds that the planet that could sustain our life will be here? So we'll go here, we'll go check it out. Plus this woman sent a distress signal, or whatever. So they go there, and then shenanigans ensue. They meet David from Prometheus, the android. He's still alive, and apparently this is where the movie screws up. He's the one that creates the xenomorphs, or the face huggers, to create the xenomorphs. Because if you watch Prometheus, they find those jars of liquid in it, the black goo or whatever. Somehow, some way, he manipulates it to make the eggs have the face huggers in it. And he doesn't explain how, because this planet that they go to is dead. There's no wildlife. There's no one else on it but him. And you found out why, because he destroys all life on there. Like somehow he weaponized that goo stuff or whatever on that alien ship, and when they get to that planet, he uses it, and it just wipes out all life. Like you see everybody's like all frozen and stuff or whatever, and that's another thing the movie screws up on. This takes place 10 years after Prometheus, so it's sort of like a Prometheus sequel and an Alien prequel, but then not really any of it. If that makes any sense. But it took me forever to figure it out. I actually wrote down notes for it, actually. When they show you the crew, there's no character development for the crew. Like, here's your crew, love them or hate them. But everybody you see that talks during the movie, you can tell, like, you're expendable, you're going to die, you're going to die, you're going to die. All of them might as well be wearing them red Starfleet shirts. But and everybody, since they go colonize the planet, everyone they're all couples. Everyone's married or something like that. But eventually, they all split up from each other. Like when they go down to this planet, like a couple of the wives go, and some of the husbands go or whatever, and then the other half stay on the Covenant. Why would you ever split up? Why would you even go down there? And even at one point, the main girl in there, what's her name, Daniels, asks the new captain, was like, we don't know what the fuck's out there. Like, why are we going down there? It's a great question. But they still go anyways. see, what else did they get wrong? If you want to know what happened, that if you haven't seen the end of Prometheus, they go off in that whatever the space jockey ship, or whatever, to find the people who created us. So they apparently they arrive at this planet that has other people in it. Like, you see a flashback from David, like when he arrives there, because apparently he killed Elizabeth. Like, you see her in this hole in the ground or whatever. Like, he dissected her. Like, you see her head, like her whole body's cut up and shit. Like, you can tell he's like studying her or some shit. But there's a clip on YouTube. I forget what it's called. I don't know if it's still up, but like, it shows you like they're on that ship and she's putting his head back on, like soldering his head back on. They're still talking to each other. Apparently they develop a relationship. Like, he even falls for her and shit, and he's like playing a song for her in her memory, crying and stuff, and he's an android. But he kills her. So he went all bad shit crazy in Prometheus, and apparently he did this again. This movie just doesn't make any sense. It's just a movie with the alien in it. It could have been anything else. And every character makes stupid decisions in here. Like, David shows the captain like the eggs with the face huggers in it. He's like, I created the perfect organism or some bullshit like that. And the captain slowly started walking up, looking at it and stuff. And Dave's like, it's perfectly safe. I was like, why would you ever do that? Why would you ever go look? Every character makes stupid mistakes, but eventually it just comes down to Daniels, the girl, and Tennessee, Danny McBride's character. And the ending is such sequel bait. The ending sucks. It is... Oh, man. The ending blows. Because it just sets up for another one. Because, at the end of every single one, like at the end of Prometheus, Alien, and I think Aliens, like, there's always like, they always like have like a little transmission that they send out at the end or whatever. Like, but they do the same one in this, except it's David. Because there's this other android that goes with him on the Covenant called Walter. He's the same android, just a different number or whatever. And somehow David tricks Walter into staying, or kills him. You don't know, you don't see him, so they end up fighting each other. And he ends up like changing his loyalty to humans or whatever by saying one line. He says you can either serve in heaven or rule in hell. And then they just stare at each other because that is after they get done fighting. And eventually you find out, like, oh man, it's David that actually gets back on the Covenant, not Walter. Walter's dead, still there, or something. You don't know. And then in the ending, I know this is spoilers, but you ain't missing nothing. Like, he has two facehugger eggs, or whatever. Eventually, he puts Tennessee and Daniels back in the cryosleep so they can head off to this new planet. And eventually, like, she figures it out because, like, as soon as she gets in the pod, she's like, "Will you help me build my cabin, Walter?" And she's like, "Oh no, it's David," and like starts crying or something. He puts her to sleep, says some stupid bullshit line or whatever. Man, this movie sucks, man. This movie blows. What was good about it? The shots are great. Like, it has that Ridley Scott stamp on it. Like, every single shot you can tell is just perfect. Especially when you get to a new planet, you just see like what's going on. Like, absolutely nothing. They're just walking and shit. It's gorgeous. It is a gorgeous movie, and it sounds great too. And there's only like one really white knuckle moment, and that's that I found. That was when you can see in one of the trailers. It's like Daniels is hanging on this cable on this hovercraft or whatever, and it's spinning out of control. It's like turning and shit like that. So like she's hanging on, like swinging under it, like shooting at the xenomorph and stuff. Like, that was cool, but it added up to nothing. It didn't answer really any questions except for what happened to the people in Prometheus at the end of Prometheus, but now it's just a cop-out. What was the point of that? Like, if they're both supposed to go find out and he ends up killing her to study him, to like breed the xenomorphs and stuff. And he has, David, he has in his little home or whatever there on that planet, he has drawings of facehuggers and drawings of xenomorphs. and different types of xenomorphs. Like, how do you have all this knowledge if this is the first time you've ever created it? Like, how do you have, like, it's like perfect drawings too. Like, it even gives you like details and shit. Like, and you made it. Like, how did you do that? They don't explain anything in this movie. That's really about it. There's a lot more, but this movie blows. I give it like a solid 4 out of 10. And I love the first two, man. The first two are great. Just these two are the only ones you need to watch. That is it. Everything else, don't even worry about it, man, because those two are perfect. That's about it for Alien Covenant. Oh, and they went through 2 title changes too. It was supposed to be Prometheus 2, a direct sequel to Prometheus, and they changed it, and it's called Alien Paradise Lost, which I thought would have been a better title because, they get to this new planet, it's supposed to be paradise for them, and then, shit happens, obviously, and then it's lost. And then they say on Alien Covenant because it's the name of the ship. Why call Alien the name of the ship? It's like Prometheus. It's only called Prometheus because that's the name of the ship that they were on. It's stupid, man. Fuck you, Ridley Scott. Anyway, that's about it. I give it a solid 4 out of 10. This movie blows. I only like it for the shots and the sound. Other than that, it's completely admissible.